What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have some good stuff to share with you guys in this video about Tesla stock, about the Feds, and some new possible stimulus news. At the end of the video, we have an $8.4 million option that we're eyeing with Apple. Apple had an amazing day today, and the market actually had a lot of volatile movement throughout the day. It actually fell a little bit in the first half of the market, and ended up just soaring back up closer to the end of the day. So either way, we have a lot of great plays, a lot of great stocks that we are watching for the rest of this week. So make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video. And if you're not subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Tom and I post brand new videos every single day. But with that being said, Tom, what happened in the stock market today?
Yeah, there's a huge telephone meeting today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and it's actually ongoing right now regarding the stimulus package with Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, and Kevin McCarthy, and even Steven Mnuchin's going to drop into that per CNBC. And more news is going to come about the meeting later tonight, and this could be pretty big for the markets. And this is actually why the market started to turn back up and retest these 370 levels towards the end of the day. And I really like this because McConnell said, we're not leaving here without a COVID package. It's not going to happen. We're going to stay here until we get a COVID package, no matter how long it takes. And he's saying that in regards to leaving Congress for the end of the year and kind of going on Christmas and end of the year break.
Well, that's good. That's good news to hear. At least it sounds pretty hopeful, which should be good for the markets. And I think that is definitely why the markets pop back up too. So obviously, if we see some positive news on a stimulus deal, that should be great for the markets. But if we see negative news, it can be pretty bad. So definitely keep your eyes out for this. By the time this video is posted, there will probably be updates on CNBC or just other news outlets. So definitely be on the lookout for that news. And then Tom, what's going on with Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla's actually going to be included officially into the S&P 500 at right after close on Friday. And CNBC reported that we're likely to see record levels of trading activity at the close due to this addition into the S&P 500. So it might be a very volatile day on Friday, and we'll have to see what Tesla does on Friday, because it sounds like it could really be very high volume, obviously. And I think that we might see a lot of pretty much up and down trading, like up down like zigzags and stuff like that. And I think we'll see huge volume candles and after hours that we may have never seen. So it might be a pretty good show to watch on Friday.
So you're saying probably consolidation as of right now. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I personally think that on Friday, I'm not sure it's going to go up or down. I mean, it's going to be very risky to play it. And I would assume that the implied volatility will go up, obviously into this inclusion. So it's going to make Tesla pretty risky to hold through that. So even if it goes, up and down, it's going to have very high implied volatility, and it'll probably have a pretty good, pretty high projected move. So we'll have to look at that Thursday night.
Gotcha. Tesla's fallen on previous highly anticipated events, like some of their earnings events and even Battery Day and a couple other events that has a ton of hype around them, right? Now, this event's a little bit different than most, though, because we're talking about them being added to the S&P 500, which obviously fundamentally brings in a ton of buyers, but at the same time, a lot of the times when there are big events with Tesla, it does fall. So it's kind of one of those confusing situations. But overall, them being added to the S&P 500 is amazing news. So What else is going on in the market right now?
Apple actually really outperformed today, just like you said at the beginning, and new iPhones are expected to sell extremely well in China, and we're going to have numbers coming out about that, but they're saying that the sales are really good, and there's a lot of hype around the new iPhones there, and they're also updating privacy, which has played a huge factor in the recent rise as well, and it looks like Apple's really breaking out. They broke out above that 125 level that they hit a couple months ago, and they even hit it a couple days ago and even came back down, so they really broke out today above that. I'm really watching for them to possibly bounce off of 129 just because of how they hit on this red candle on August 24th. And I really think that that's going to pose a pretty big level, that 129 level. So watch for a break above 129, but I think Apple could be a really good play for tomorrow. And it looks like they're really breaking out. It's just, they've had a lot of good news around the new iPhones and everything, and they're just doing a lot of good stuff.
Awesome. And then, Tom, we all know what's going on with the Feds this week. I know there's also a lot of anticipation behind that with Powell. And we know historically, Powell, he has the opportunity or he has the ability to have a very significant influence on the market. So, what's going on with that this week?
Yeah, they're actually going to meet tomorrow, and some investors are expecting the Fed to change the duration of the bonds that it's buying, but others expect it just to detail guidelines it will use to make changes to the program. But the Fed will release its statement at 2 p.m., and Jerome Powell will hold a press conference at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So just watch out for it. Sometimes it moves the market, sometimes it doesn't, and it looks like investors are pretty much split on what's going to happen. So it's looking like there's really not going to be a set outlook at the moment. So I just don't know what to really look for going into this. But I think that it won't really affect the markets too much, in my opinion. I think people are going to really be looking at the COVID stimulus bill.
Gotcha. Well, good stuff. Well, let's get right into our Discord member of the day. Today's member of the day is Angel Fresh 89. So huge shout out to Angel for always being a great member of the chat, helping other members in spreading positivity. So let's get right into our momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one is Baidu. This stock is just exploding. Tom, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I actually really like Baidu right now. They exploded today and they're actually bouncing off of this level at 186. And I think that, right around there anyways. And I think that if they can break above that, which they actually did in after hours right now. Look at this. They're above all the way up to 189.93 right now. What a runner. But go ahead and make them break above, I would say 191. But I think that it might even break above that in after hours or in pre-market, just given how much it's going up. So just watch this one for a momentum play, and it might keep breaking new highs. So just watch for it to break those highs and try to catch a run on it.
Sounds good. The next one is Apple.
AAPL. This one has more of a defined top. Make it break 128.
Okay, and then we have eBay.
eBay, yeah, they did very well today as well. Make them break above 52.11. If they break that, 52.20.
All right, and then last but not least, we have WFC.
WFC Wells Fargo, yeah, they're actually consolidating up here around that 29.78 high that they hit the other day. So I'd make them break above that.
Sounds good. So we're eyeing all of these plays potentially to the upside for day trade tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. But for the $8.4 million options trade for the rest of this week, we're looking back at Apple. Someone put about $8.4 million into the Apple 130 strike calls that expire this Friday, December 18th. That's a lot of money going into the play. Apple is showing a lot of upwards momentum, especially when you look at that daily chart. And the option is only about $2.50 out of the money. So overall, I would think that they're longing them, especially looking at Apple's chart. But who knows if they have some insider information with the Feds tomorrow or anything like that. But overall, Apple's looking pretty decent, and I really would expect them to be longing these calls.
Yeah, me too. It's just one of those plays where they just had so much momentum today, and with all the good news with the phone sales and everything, I just think that there might just be no stopping Apple, at least in the short term.
All right, so now for our questions from the previous episode, and we have Leon saying, thanks guys, what do you think about JP Morgan and Bank of America? Bank stocks were doing great until last week. So, Tom, we were actually talking about this earlier. I mean, I'm not sure what time frame he's referring to. If he's referring to the long term or like the next couple months, I really like them. But if he's referring for like a 1 to 2 week outlook, I feel like anything can happen. What are you seeing like on a technical standpoint with these stocks?
Yeah, I think there's actually some great technicals on both of them right now, and especially JP Morgan and Bank of America. Those two, I think, right here on JP Morgan, there's pretty much a defined bottom around the $118 level. You can see that we had this red candle and we popped right back and came right back up there, and it happened right here as well. And then it also sent the stock down whenever it touched right around there the past few weeks as well. So that's been a pretty key level, that 118 level. I think that if we break down below that, these bank stocks might start coming down again, but I think that they might start popping. They might start popping and just continue their staircase to the upside. I think that it's going to really depend on what happens over the next couple of days. But I think if like JP Morgan breaks below 118, and then if Bank of America breaks below their bottom, where you can see that they hit twice here, right around the 28.15 level or 28.13 level. I think that if they can break below that, then I think that that they can both go to the downside. But I think that they might actually hold their ground and actually pop back up. But we'll just have to see what happens. And I think that the next couple of days is going to be a big telltale sign.
And then earnings are kind of coming up too. I mean, I know they're not too close, but about a month away, which is also good to note. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some movement up on their earnings report. With the next question, we have Andrew asking if we can review BBY, NVIDIA, and then Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, I think that BBY could have a lot of potential here going into the holiday season. It looks like they've started to pull back here over the past couple months, but I think that there could be a lot of potential for them to come back, especially with the holiday sales numbers and everything starting to come out. That might be good for them. And I know a lot of investors are really looking at them right now at this $100 level, especially considering they were at 125 just a couple weeks ago. So it's not the worst pickup in the world if you like them for the long term, and especially since they sell tech, I think it'll be a long term hold.
All right. And then the next one was NVDA.
Oh yeah, Nvidia. I think that they're fantastic. This is very similar to a setup kind of like AMD and Qualcomm and MU. I think that these stocks can do very good over the long term, especially Nvidia. They make some of the best graphics cards, and even in the short term, they might start popping, especially if we see tech and stuff like that start popping as well. And I think that they might kind of follow AMD here. I mean, you can see AMD's really breaking to the upside and almost hitting the $100 level. So this is another interesting one to watch. That's just like NVDA.
Awesome. And then the last one he was asking about was Netflix.
Netflix, yeah, NFLX. They've been doing very well, and a lot of people expected Netflix to kind of fall with the good news that Disney had about Disney Plus, but it looks like the Netflix is going up, and they actually raised prices recently to $15 a month. And I know that that made a lot of people angry, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are still going to keep Netflix, and that raise in price is actually going to, kind of negate the people that they lose. So I think that obviously Netflix would have went over these numbers a ton before they actually raised the price to understand what's happening. And I don't think it's going to hurt their stock too much. And it looks like they're actually starting to pop again.
Awesome. With the next question, we have 45 saying thoughts on CRM. So looking at their chart for the long term, it looks pretty good. And I know they were also talking about who are they merging with, or oh no, they were talking about an acquisition with Slack, and that actually brought their stock price down. But if they do end up going through with that, that can also benefit them for the long term. So if you like them for the long term, it's not looking too bad right now. What do you
Yeah,
think?
it's actually a great time to average in. I mean, they've actually fallen quite a bit from the highs.
Yeah. With the next question, we have Bravo saying, "Good show, guys. Keep it up. What do you think of SPG, which is Simon Property Group? When is it a good level to buy?" So SPG has good dividends, which is obviously good, but the problem is they actually own a lot of malls, and that industry is not doing good at all. And we can see that their stock hit highs of around $230 a couple years ago, and right now it's at $90. So personally, I wouldn't even want to buy this stock because it has so much ownership in malls. And personally, I think that industry is going to suffer a lot. So personally, I wouldn't buy this. But if you feel fine about that industry, it can be a good level to buy. But the stock price is not doing too good right now. And a lot of people get sucked into this stock because they see that its dividend is so high. But the problem is the stock price has a good chance of depreciating more in value than the dividends would actually make you. So if you do want to buy this stock, make sure you definitely do your research and make sure you're definitely okay with investing in this stock with the real estate holdings that they have, because there's a lot of studies and predictions out there saying that the mall industry is not looking good at all, especially from everything with COVID and Amazon taking over. So just make sure you do your own research. But personally, I would not invest in this stock. With the next question, we have Hamid saying, "Hey, Mike and Tom, what are your thoughts on OSTK based on technical analysis for the short term?" So, Tom, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I actually really like it. It looks like they've had a pretty decent move to the upside today. So I'm going to be looking for it to kind of break this resistance here around 62.80. Let me go on an intraday chart to get some exact levels here. But it really looks like they're running today. And the way that they broke intraday highs at the end of the day makes it look really good. But I think that if they break above 63, I think that would be a really good level to watch, just because you can see that they hit this level here around 62.70. And then they also hit 63 right on market open right here and fell. So I think that that might pose a pretty good level between that 30-cent range right there. So if it breaks above that range, I think it would be a pretty good move to the upside in the short term. And I really like that movement up today. It looks very, very, very strong. And I just love the way it closed and how it's kind of popping up in after hours.
Yeah, it does look pretty good. So, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, I kind of touched on this earlier, but the thing I'm watching for tomorrow is AMD. They're actually getting close to that $100 level, just like I said earlier. But they actually broke above this after hours high on Monday, and it had a pretty good level around this 96.50 mark. So they broke right above that and then bounced off of it a couple times today. So it could have made for a pretty good day trading level. And it looks like they have another high here right around the $98 level. So if they break above 98, it could be an awesome trade tomorrow. I really like AMD in the short term and the long term. I'm not sure that I'd pick up shares right now just because of how high they are. And I just don't buy at the highs like that. But I know that it's a good stock. And obviously for the long term, I think it would be a good hold. But I just wouldn't buy long term shares. I think it's a good day trade, though.
Gotcha. And I actually was looking at eBay and then WFC on the daily chart. I think that they're both setting up pretty decent. As always, you always want to wait for confirmation with any setup, but especially eBay. Like if you do like this stock for the long term, bounced off that $50 support a couple times, and I think it's looking pretty good. And they actually had a nice run up a couple months ago, all the way up to highs of 61, and right now it's at 52. It's showing a lot of good momentum, so I definitely have my eyes on eBay too.
Yeah, that's actually an awesome stock, and I'm surprised how much they've actually came down from $60 a share, especially considering like their competition is like Amazon. So I just wouldn't, I would think that eBay would have done a little bit better while COVID was going on. So I think that they might actually pop back up with all that money coming in, and especially if we see more COVID cases coming out, I think that that might even make them go up even more.
True. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Likes, comments, and new subscribers really help us. So if you guys like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys really want to help us out, comments help grow the channel so much. And we really appreciate everyone who leaves a comment down below. Like I said, we really appreciate it, and it really helps grow our channel. So thank you so much to everyone who takes the 2 seconds to leave a comment. Tom and I really appreciate it. As always, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.